Hello, it's Adam with Tech Dive Productions. To finish out October, we're going to talk about 5 spooky editing effects you can do to make your visual effects that much spookier. Alrighty, so we are in Movie Studio 16 Platinum now, and we're going to add all sorts of effects to everything to make this work. So first, you need to go to this picture-in-picture track, and we're just going to delete it. It's going to get in our way with what we're doing, so go ahead and get that out of there. Next, you need to find your source footage, and this footage needs to be, yes, I do want it to be the same settings as this video. This footage needs to be your face that will be in the flames, or your figure, or whatever. If it's an elephant in the flames, this needs to be your elephant. It works best if it has a black background, or you can even green screen out the background. So whatever your figure is, you need to kind of get that figured out beforehand. It'll work with a picture as well, however a picture just won't be animated, so the effect might not be as present. So the first thing we have to do is get this flickering. We need this to look like it's made of fire. My little face looking down at my phone there to look like it's made of fire. And so I just have some fire on a black background. I've sourced this from YouTube. It's put up there as a stock footage. And this little section here is what I want. So I'm going to delete the rest of that. So now I have my fire stock footage. Let's see. Want it to all be similar. And I'm going to put that on the track above. Next, I'm going to go here to this little ignore event groupings. And I'm going to select that. And I'm going to delete the ignore event groupings right there. Delete the audio from that, and then I'm going to reselect ignore event grouping, so that way it doesn't surprise me later when that's not turned on, because then I can unsync audio or something like that. Now I'm going to line it up where the fire is over this figure, and now you're thinking, okay, well, so that's just fire, that's not a figure. Exactly. So now we go to this little hamburger menu on the fire track here, which for this one is the one that says text, and we're going to go to compositing mode and multiply mask. Look at this. Now I'm made of fire. And so another thing we can do is hit event pan crop. If you can't see it, just zoom out on your footage there. Hit this event pan crop button. When you open this up, you can actually zoom in on the fire to get it a little bit more what you want. Like a little bit more fire and less black. So that way I can kind of see more of my face in flames dancing. So now you can make this black and white if you want. If you go to here, you can grab the black and white effect and make it black and white. And then it would take the fire color more so. See, it kind of adds the red back in, kind of recolorizing some of it. I don't care to leave the color in. I think that adds to the effect a little bit. So you can see it's kind of flaming and dancing, and I'm actually flickering myself as the fire. So we're going to have to render this out. I would render this out as what your final project's going to be in, or render it out to a compressionless codec like what your camera codec is. But I'm going to go ahead and render this out to an MP4 because that's what YouTube accepts. So I'm going to go to render as. And then we're going to go to the internet 1080p, 29 frames a second. That is what I'm going to be uploading it as. So that's going to be it. And then I'm going to name it Face Flames. And you just render that out. Alright, and then you can hit open folder and then drag that to your project media tab, and now you have the face flames. You can lay it on your timeline. So the reason why you can't see it is because we actually need to turn off the compositing mode multiply mask. We need to go back to source alpha. Now this is a little different than Pro. In Pro, I would do this differently. I would do what's called a add composite, and that would give me a better effect. But for now, I'm going to put this on the top one. We're going to grab our fireplace footage. Now mine's a fake fireplace. If you want a real fireplace, then film a real fireplace, and then you'll have it. And like I said, the audio doesn't matter, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete all the audio there and then recheck that so I don't forget about it later. And you can grab the top corner of your flame face and fade it like so. So then it fades to that, then it fades back out. And so now we just need to composite this again. And so the best thing to do is we're going to go to, this is not the best thing to do in general, but since we just have movie studios, this is a limitation of movie studios. So the way I would do it if I only had movie studios is I'd go to chroma key. And so chroma key, a lot of you know it as a green screen effect. We're going to throw the chroma key on there, and we're going to actually chroma all the black out of the footage. And so, oh, I had chroma blur. My bad. Chroma keyer. That's an important one. Grab that, drag it, and leave it just on the face footage there. And you're going to grab the same color black that's your black. And you're going to have to kind of change the thresholds around to give you the effect you're looking for. Now this, like I said, it isn't as pretty as what you could do with Vegas Pro, but you can add a little blur there. So now if you look at that, you still get the dancing, fiery effect. It's just not quite as flickery and dancing as it was or would have been. So if you want to know more about green screening, I have a tutorial for that as well. But really, this low threshold and high threshold, you'll just have to kind of move them to meet at a spot that works particularly for your footage. And the blur effect will really help with any pixelation. See, kind of rounds it out there. So now we're ready for the final part of this. So now at this point, if you lower the opacity a little bit, you can see that it makes it see-through like fire, and you kind of got a flaming figure there in the fire that cuts like it's actually made of fire and flame. It looks pretty good. This isn't exactly how I would do it if I did it in Vegas Pro. I encourage you to watch that tutorial too if you want to see what it looks like with the Vegas Pro compositing, but that just has a different compositing mode which does a little bit better of a job selling it than the green screen. But this is still pretty darn good looking considering this is only like a $60 software when you get it on sale. I don't know the full price at the moment. I think like $120-ish. Don't quote me on that. But that's still really cheap for this much editing power. So, but it isn't quite what Vegas Pro can do in this particular scenario. So again, thank you so much for watching. We got another spooky tutorial series coming out too. And keep an eye out for that. And I'll see you next time.